Greetings, fellow earthlings, and welcome to Tales from the Hoop, a podcast dedicated to diving into the weird, wild, and wacky stories from basketball history. I am your host, Ricky Freck, and today I'm telling the story about the hottest ABA team to my brother.
Lazy Dave.
All right, we are good. We've had some difficulties, but I think we're in this. So we've
All
recorded
right.
this first part before, but we're gonna pretend like we haven't. Okay, so continue with the banter.
That's right.
Who do you think is the hottest ABA team of all time?
Being asked this for the first time, I'm gonna have to say the Nets. I don't remember if it was New York or New Jersey at that time. But they had Dr. J. They
Yeah,
had other players that we've talked about.
Rick Barry played there.
Yeah, Rick Barry.
The
And
short
I mean
shorts.
Dr. J. What like when you say ABA, I think that's what everyone thinks of first is Dr. J. So I'm gonna have
Hmm.
to say the Nets. Best jersey by far.
You think really? Okay, interesting. I would disagree, but that's okay. I
I
can't tell
would
you who.
still buy that Dr. J jersey today.
I like the Memphis Sounds jersey a lot. I like another team we're going to talk about today a lot, but I'm not going to say because it will give it away.
All right, all right.
But yeah, that's me. So in the first episode of this series, we talked a lot about how one of the major factors behind the ABA's success was they brought in a commissioner who was
Ooh, George Mikan.
George Mikan, the Hall of Fame player and one of the first true big men. So the league did basically whatever they wanted to get him to sign because they knew they needed a face at the front of the organization. What do you and so
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
he had so many demands, Dave, what demands do you remember him having?
I remember that he really cared about the color of the basketball. I think it was the specifics of seeing it on TV or something. I don't remember why he cared so much,
Yeah.
but he wanted it to be different than the
Yes.
NBA. So that's how we got the red, white, and blue uh, famous basketball.
Correct. Anything else?
That's oh no, I thought that was only a demand that he made.
Oh. Mikan was living in Minnesota and did not want to leave. He forced the league to move its office to his hometown in Minnesota. Not hometown, maybe, but the place he was living. So he could stay at home and continue
Okay.
working in real estate on the side. A real Uncle Dennis kind of situation, except George Mikan was working for his money.
Come on, Uncle Dennis. What are we doing out here?
All right, another demand Mikan made was that Minnesota should have one of the inaugural teams. So
Mhm.
LP Shields and Fred Jefferson paid $30,000 to bring the Muskies to Minnesota.
It's not a terrible name, honestly.
I think it's to do with fish.
Muskie?
I think muskie is a fish.
Yeah, I would have never thought of what it was, but I like it.
The
No one
team,
knows what it means, but it's provocative.
yeah, gets the people going, except, well, as we'll find out soon, maybe it didn't get the people going. All right. The team made the smart decision during the very first draft, picking a guy named Mel Daniels out of New Mexico.
Ooh, I know that name.
You should. You should. You
He's
definitely should.
he's a Hall of Famer or something like that.
Something like that. Now, Daniels had been selected ninth overall by the Royals in that year's draft,
Ooh,
which
Cincinnati.
which meant he could have gone to play with, I believe, Oscar Robinson,
Robertson.
Robertson. What is wrong with me? I've been doing my Oklahoma State thing, so I've been thinking a lot about Zach Robinson lately. That's the
Yikes.
problem.
That's sad.
He's so good looking. Please, if you're out there, this is off topic. Go look up a picture of Zach Robinson's eyes.
I can't wait.
You could get
That's
lost in them for the rest of your life.
I love this.
So Daniels decided to snub the Royals and sign with the Muskies. Now,
Ooh.
he claims that it had nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with it. He
Oh,
became
yeah.
he was the first round pick to snub the NBA. Says it had nothing to do with the cash they were offering. But here are his own
Hmm.
words. I was offered
Okay.
$15,000 by Cincinnati as a bonus and 17,500 as a salary. I was offered $15,000 as a bonus in Minnesota and 30,000 as a salary. So the higher number somehow won out.
It's a real Rick Barry situation, seems like. So.
During that first ABA season in 1967, Daniels was a revelation. He led the league in field goal attempts, field goals made, and offensive and defensive rebounds. He was also named Rookie of the Year and represented the Muskies at the All-Star game alongside Donnie Freeman and Les Hunter. Two guys I know you
Okay.
know all so much
Donnie
about.
Freeman and Les Hunter.
So the Muskies in that first season, they were battling the Pacers for the top spot in the Eastern Division throughout most of the season. And toward the end of the season, the Pacers kind of fell off the pace. So the Muskies finished with 50 wins. However, Connie Hawkins and the Pittsburgh Pipers made a late charge up the standings. So the Muskies finished in second.
Okay.
And so that also meant that Daniels and the crew had to take on Hawkins. And when they did in the Eastern Division Finals, they lost 4-1. And as we talked about last time, the Pipers won that very first championship over whoever it was we talked about last time. It's been 2 weeks. I don't remember.
The other one.
The other one, yeah. Uh, who the New Orleans Buccaneers with Doug Moe and
The
Larry
Memphis
Brown.
Tams.
No, they weren't the Memphis Tams yet.
Oh,
They were the New Orleans Buccaneers.
that's crazy. I don't know how you remember all that.
Because I wrote it. Well,
Fair enough.
I did write it down.
Adapted.
I didn't write it as in like I invented it. I just wrote it down, like taking notes in history class. It had been a great first season, and they had the backing of the league commissioner who wanted
Okay.
a team in Minnesota as long as he was in charge. But it was revealed that the owners had lost over $400,000 during that first season.
Good Lord. Okay.
They averaged 2,800 fans a game and sold only 100 season tickets.
Oh my Lord. Yeah,
So,
I don't know, that's inflation, but it seems really bad.
could you imagine the Oklahoma City Thunder selling 100 season tickets?
Yeah, 2,000 seats is nuts.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
much.
Good Lord.
Even in
Okay.
Minnesota, where it's probably hard to get to the arena because you got to get through all the snow.
Yeah, that's I didn't even think about that.
The management decided to do something that always worked for the ABA. Can you
Okay.
guess? Worked every time.
Um, change the team name or move to a different city.
No, they tried something different, something we've seen a lot of teams try already.
A regional based
They moved
system?
to a regional model.
Yeah,
That's
there we
right,
go.
everyone's favorite. They were going to play 9 of their home games at new arenas around Minnesota, and they even signed, which at the time was kind of a big deal, a lucrative TV contract.
Okay.
However, on May 24th, 1968, the owners, who I guess was different from management, decided to make a big change. They moved the franchise to Miami, Florida.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Now, you might be like, well, didn't George Mikan want a team in Minnesota? I got really good news for you. The same year, the championship winning Pipers relocated to Minnesota.
Okay, there you go.
And
George Mikan gets what he wants.
they stayed there for a year. Mikan stopped being the commissioner and they went back to Pittsburgh.
Yikes. Okay.
All
What a
right,
great
so
experiment. I mean, I guess all they really needed him for was like the very beginning to help legitimize it, you know.
I guess I mean it kind of went off the rails to some degree after he left. I mean, it did end up being successful for several teams, but
Yeah.
there's one team I cannot wait to talk about because it's so funny. I can't wait to get there. Sorry. But this week was gonna be the Pacers, but then I realized we have to talk about this because this is like the beginning of Mel Daniels' career,
Oh,
and as we'll
okay,
see
yeah.
in a second, he goes to the Pacers. Uh, but the Muskies franchise moved south, moved very far south. They went from the snow to the sandy beaches of Miami, Florida. Actually, does Miami have beaches? Is it
Yeah,
on the
for sure.
coast? Okay.
Hmm.
South Beach. That's right. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. I should know that.
Yeah, come
That's
on.
one of those moments. I'm sure there are a lot of them for everyone, but that's the I'm taking my talents to South Beach is one of those where I'll always remember exactly where I was.
It's crazy.
This is going to be for no one listening to the podcast, only for you, Dave. I was in the infirm at Camp Bear Track watching on the tiny television while pretending to get a child medication,
Just so you could find out
just so
where.
I could find out where LeBron was going the
Yeah,
night of.
that's that's a LeBron sexual if I ever heard one.
I can
LeBron
remember
stuff.
exactly where I was when he took down the Pistons in the 2008, no, 2007. Remember he scored 26 straight points in the fourth quarter and overtime to beat the Pistons.
Against the best defensive player ever?
No,
How?
he was Ben Wallace was aging. I was reading.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. This is going to be a slight tangent, but at least it's basketball this time. I was reading a thing trying to find like rankings for high school recruits, like in before rivals became a thing.
Okay,
So
yeah.
back in like the '90s, the '80s, right? And I came across this site that was trying to like list like rank the classes, rank the
Okay.
recruiting classes.
Yeah.
But the way they were doing it was they were ranking them based on their NBA production. So the it was like the 19 I don't remember exactly the year, but let's just say 1992.
You're right.
That year's class. No, it would have been like 97 probably. 95, I don't know. And they had like Tracy McGrady number 1. So yeah,
Hmm.
97 would make more sense. And then Ben Wallace number 2, not ranked. He was not ranked at all. No one ranked Ben Wallace as a prospect, but he
Hmm.
was the number 2 player in that class. That's kind of crazy.
Just based off of
Cuz
NBA.
I think he was undrafted as well. Like no
Really?
one cared about him. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then it was Dennis Rodman was also like number 3 in his class, even though Dennis Rodman didn't even play basketball like legitimately until he
Yeah.
got to college and then
And he
just got
was
picked
like a
up.
JUCO
Yeah.
guy.
Well,
Yeah.
no, not a JUCO guy. Come on. Southeastern Oklahoma State is a NAIA school. Get with the
Is
program.
I didn't know there's a difference between those things.
You didn't know the difference between a JUCO and like Southwestern or like your school?
Yep.
JUCO. Oh,
They're all not Division 1. That's
yeah, but JUCO, you only do 2 years. Like the point of a JUCO is to leave. It's a junior college. You go from there to a full accredited university.
did I go to an accredited university?
You, a JUCO, let me be clear. A JUCO is
Okay.
accredited. A JUCO, you can't earn like a full bachelor's degree.
4-year degree.
You can earn like an associate's degree.
Okay.
So a
But
JUCO, the point of a JUCO is to send you forward to
right.
theoretically. I mean, you could just get an associate's and be done, but it's to send you forward to a 4-year institution so you can finish your degree.
But there's still players that like go play at Southwestern, even though they could get a 4-year degree there, and then they like transfer to a better university, right?
I would say in general, and no, look, I
You
graduated from
can,
Southwestern, so I'm
yeah,
not. I'm disparaging it a little bit, but I would say in general, if you're at Southwestern, there's two things that happen to you. If you're an athlete,
okay,
maybe three. I'll say three. There's three things that happen to you. One, you're just not that good, but you want to
yeah,
play sports, so you go to a D2 school, which D2 school cannot. Let me see. D2 schools, I think, can offer scholarships to athletes. D3 schools, you can't get an athletic scholarship.
hmm,
But it's
weird.
also weird because like Davidson, where Steph Curry went, is a D1 school for basketball, a D3 school for football. So
That's funny.
like
Okay,
football, I don't think you can get a scholarship to play football there. But I could be wrong. I'm talking on my butt a little bit. But basically, if you're at a Southwestern or a UCO, you're either not good enough to play D1, your grades are not good enough to play D1, so you had to go there and try to get your grades up so you can transfer, or you went to a D1 and you got in a lot of trouble, and so you had to
hmm.
leave and go to a smaller school, and maybe you'll go back. But a lot of people, I think, would go the JUCO route at that point.
But JUCO's like the point of it is to go to a D1 school.
If you are an athlete, I think the point of going to a JUCO is like I either am in school, I could not get my ACT high enough or my
Yeah.
SAT. I'm going to a JUCO to get my grades up, or I went to a JUCO. I got drunk. I beat somebody up. Now I have to leave the school because they kicked me out. I'm going to go to a JUCO to like reset and still be playing football. Like that's why Last Chance U is a thing, right? If you've ever seen
Hmm,
that
yeah, yeah,
show,
yeah.
those guys are there because a lot of them are there because they got in trouble and then they're trying to like restart their career.
The last tangent.
Uh
Can
huh.
NIL money go towards a non-Division 1 school?
I have no idea.
Like
I
let's say
can't.
I let's say that I had a kid and a business. Could I like sponsor the team? Like let's say
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I want my kid to go to UCO and play." So like I give him a bunch of NIL money, but it's just like uh tax write-off, you know? Like
Yeah.
I'm
I don't know if NIL can go lower than D1. I would assume it can, but I have no idea. I
billionaires out there think about it.
I just can't imagine anyone. No offense, I can't in Southwestern too.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine anyone giving money to a D2 or D3 school
But
in
that's
the
the
hopes
point
of.
is it's not you're not doing it like to give money to the school. You're
Yeah.
doing it to like transfer money to your kids in a,
Okay.
or
But
like a blindside situation, like
oh God. Well, sorry.
you really want a prospect on your like local team, and so you're just like, my we're signing this player to $100,000 NIL contract.
I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't envision that happening, but create wilder things have happened with NIL.
All you
It's
rich people out there, think about it.
I really what I'm really hoping happens with NIL if they don't salary cap it, which I think is probably going to happen, is that Harvard decides they're going to have the best football team in the world
Oh, that'd be dope.
because they have by far like the biggest endowment.
Right.
If you think about it, Harvard is basically a vampire as an institution because
Okay.
it's been around for since like 1600. So
Hmm.
of course it has billions and billions of dollars. Like honestly, Harvard is a bad school as far as making money that they don't have more money.
Oh, they
They've been
should
around
have.
for so long. They should have
Yeah,
more.
you have trillions.
Yeah, for real. It's wild. If there was a human that had been around since the 1600s and just put their money in like stock market, they would
Right.
have so much more money.
That
What are you
it's
doing,
a
Harvard? You're
it's not a
stupid.
terrible point. Yeah, Harvard
But
is
yeah,
stupid.
that's my hope is that these schools that are not traditional powers, like Vanderbilt, I mean Vanderbilt's probably the closest to it actually happening because they have so much money in their endowment. Now I don't know how it works exactly, what you can spend out of that on football, but if they just are like, hey, we're gonna have the best football team, which arguably they're 3-0 and they just beat South Carolina last night, so uh, they are very good at football right now, but they could be the best theoretically.
Okay,
All right, let's
better
dive
than
back.
better than Oklahoma State, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, our football program no longer exists. So the owners decided to make another major change after moving south. They said, we have this guy. He's the best rookie in the league. He led the league in a lot of categories. We should probably trade him for $75,000 because we need money.
Right. Yep.
So they
Yep.
traded Mel Daniels to the Indiana Pacers for $75,000.
Good lord.
Jimmy Dawson and a guy named Ron Kozlicki.
Hmm.
And while you've never heard of those guys, Mel Daniels had a Hall of Fame career. So, not exactly a smart basketball move by the owners.
Yikes.
Still, they did have all stars Donnie Freeman and Les Hunter.
Yep.
So, despite not being able to draw much, the team actually did finish in second in the Eastern Division
Oh,
behind Mel Daniels' Pacers at 43 and 35. And they made it to the Eastern Division Finals for the second year in a row, where they lost to who?
the Pacers.
Mel Daniels and the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. So now I forgot to put this in here, they were the Floridians. And the Floridians did make the playoffs in 3 of their 4 years in Miami.
Okay, so that's not that big a deal. I mean, that's pretty good.
So you can say they weren't good, but they weren't terrible either.
Yeah.
That said, they always, always, always struggled to draw fans.
Hmm.
Combine that with the fact that Miami was very firmly a football town. I don't know why. The Dolphins are terrible. And you had a
It's
team.
like the time of Dan Marino, though, right? Or was he later?
Wow. No, this is actually when they were good because it's like the early 70s.
Oh
So
yeah, like
Don
Larry
Shula.
Zonka
Yeah.
and
This
what's
was what
the
this was like around the time they went undefeated. So I'm joking that they're
what's that
not
other
any good.
quarterback before Dan Marino? He won like
Uh,
2 or 3 Super Bowls, right?
Bob Greasy or
Bob
Brian
Greasy.
Greasy. I
That's
can't. One
yeah.
of them's the dad, the other one's the son. I can't remember.
Oh,
Dan Marino's like 1984 was his first
oh
year,
shoot. Okay.
mid 80s.
Yeah.
So but so there was like this feeling that they were bad, right? They did have one really bad season, but in general they were okay. So star center Dan Issel, who I believe at this time was playing for the Rockets, he said this: going to play at Miami was like taking a vacation. Their teams were so pitiful that you could lie around on the beach all day and then go out there and beat them at night, even if you weren't really with it. And all you had to do was make sure, and this we're going to talk about this guy in a minute. So all you had to do was make sure that Mac Calvin didn't go crazy. And
Oh
and since they
yeah.
were drew so lousy, they had virtually no home court advantage. So speaking of Calvin, he joined the team ahead of the 1971 season.
Okay.
And the year before, they had been one of the worst teams in the league. So 1970, the year they moved, where they were terrible, absolutely atrocious.
Yep.
So they brought in the All-Star guard. Now, we're gonna. I mean, I'm kind of all over the place with this one, so just bear with me if it is a little bit weird explaining. But Matt Calvin during his first season averaged 27 points and 8 assists a night. Still, despite him being pretty good, the Miami franchise was known much less for its quality of play than for its gimmicks. It really loved a
Ooh,
gimmick down
I
there in
love a
Miami.
gimmick.
The owners did everything they could do to bring fans in, but most of it didn't work. Early in the franchise's tenure, they had Tart Laverne Knight, who was a player.
Okay.
They announced it early in the week, and 2 days later, they traded him to another team.
That's our second Tart named player.
I believe it's the same person.
I thought Cherry Tart was
Sherry Tart.
yeah.
That's a pornographic actress, not a basketball player.
No, you said there was someone named Cherry something. Was it
I'm pr-
not?
I'm pretty confident we have talked about Tart Levine before. Laverne, excuse me.
No, I'm going back into the archives.
Okay, you do that. They still held the event, but Tart was not there. So they just had a Laverne night with no Tart Laverne.
Okay.
But the biggest gimmick of all were the ball girls.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Now, let me say, first of all, every quote in here is from Loose Balls by Terry Pluto. And also, let me say here, I'm about to read some quotes. This was in the 90s. It's a different time.
Oh gosh.
But I'm just reading them verbatim. So there's no emphasis added by me. I'm just reading exactly what they said back in the day. So this is from Gene Little. He said, no matter what you say about the Floridians, they had the greatest cheerleaders in the world. They were big league all the way in their looks, their dance routines, and their outfits.
Oh boy.
They got more attention than the team, and that's how it should have been, considering the kind of teams they had down there. Van Vance said, the ball girls were great looking. I really meant that. Here we go. They had long, tanned legs and super figures, all packed into those bikinis. During one game, perhaps the best looking one came up to me and sat on my lap while I was broadcasting the game. I just kept doing the game, and the girl turned to someone at the press table and said, I don't get it. This guy just talks and talks, but he won't talk to me. And this one comes from the Floridians' actual program.
Okay.
There
Oh
is
god.
there is little question that the Floridians boast the 5 prettiest, this is heavy quotes, ball boys in all basketballdom.
Okay.
The quintet were chosen in a bikini contest held last August.
Solid.
All 5 girls are highly talented. Now here's where we get a little creepy.
Okay. Oh, here's where. Now it starts. Yeah.
For instance, 2 of the girls, Sandy and Sydney Acker, are twins and majorettes at North Highland High School.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Uh, v,
Congrats, ABA.
v. Lloyd sings and dances professionally and already owns a pilot's license. Pinky White is a student at Miami's Central High School and aspires to become an actress. Janie Orman, a student at Miami Dade North, is the outdoor type.
God. Okay.
She likes to
Yeah.
ride horses, sail, and play tennis. If the innovation catches on, there is a likelihood that spectators will attend ABA contests as much to appreciate feminine pulchritude as good basketball. Now, if you're wondering what pulchritude means, I
Nope.
believe
I don't think I want to know.
I believe it just means good looking,
Okay. So not
basically.
only is this the creepiest thing that's ever happened, but it's also they're probably breaking child labor law. Like before we knew that they were high schoolers, it was creepy, and now we know that they're breaking child labor laws. And oh boy,
And
okay.
one of them sat on an old broadcast announcer's lap while
He
he
was
was
very excited
broadcasting
about
the
it.
game. Yeah.
Um, yeah, we thought the ABA couldn't reach new lows, but here we are.
Rudy Martzke added, the big event for the girls came when we took them to New York for a Madison Square Garden all ABA doubleheader. It was right before Christmas. We had a press conference with the girls. Got a big turnout, and naturally, pictures of the girls in the papers. It was like a Hollywood opening, with photographers pushing and shoving to get in position to take pictures of the girls. Rick
Good
Barry was
Lord.
Rick Barry was with the Nets, and we had a promotion in Grand Central with Barry playing Al Albert in this gimmicky basketball game while the girls in their bikinis tried to lure people over to watch. It was pure schlock. The doubleheader drew about 8,500 at the Garden, and about 8,000 of the fans showed up to see the girls. Because I bet they couldn't name three guys who played that night.
Oh my god. Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Now with that, we're done with the Miami Floridian ball girls. But I had to bring that stuff up because it is wild that
Yeah.
people went on record saying those things. It was a different time.
Miami, baby.
Keep in mind
Yeah.
those interviews not recorded in the 70s, recorded in like 1992.
Oh boy.
All right. So on top of all of the gimmicky stuff, they played a large chunk of their home games at Dinner Key Auditorium, which did not have air conditioning.
Okay. Great.
So I'm sure you can imagine how fun it was playing games in the Florida heat.
Yeah. Solid.
So what the owners did to make it not quite as unbearable is they opened outside doors to keep the players alive.
Okay.
Now, this was very close to the ocean, so the players had to adjust their shooting based on the ocean breeze drifting in and sending their shots off target.
That's insane. But
That's
also
a,
kind of fun, you
that's
know?
what they should do that for the All-Star game.
I feel like every town should have like their own home court advantage. I don't hate it.
That is a great idea if they ever make NBA Street Volume 4 to give
Right.
like certain towns their own gimmick. That's great. That's
Yes.
so much better than like, oh, we're playing Madden and the 12th man, the stadium's loud now. So after the 1970 season, which remember that was their worst season before they brought
Okay.
in Mac Calvin, owner Ned Doyle decided to drop Miami for the name, so now they're just the Floridians,
Okay. Yep.
and they wore pink, orange, and black, which is a great
Ooh.
color combo, and a jersey I really like.
Yeah. I gotta check these out.
And Ned Doyle also fired the entire team.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's always a solid idea.
Every single player was dropped. They brought in Matt Calvin and a new roster of guys. And then they had
Where? What do you mean a new roster? You just glossed over that. Like, where do you just find a new roster of guys?
it's the ABA baby.
Okay.
You, you,
Just
you
local
basically
tryouts. Like what?
yes, they
Okay.
have local
Cool.
tryouts. They here another thing that was very common was like they would go find a guy who was kind of washed up in the NBA or had been kicked out of the NBA. Remember, I've told you before about the Eastern Basketball League, which is like the precursor to the G League, basically.
Mm.
So they would just go get guys out of that. If a guy had played in around like college ball in the Miami area and not made it, they'd get like they just got players however they could.
Okay. Love it.
And they had a chance to get even better in the 1971 draft
Okay.
because that was the year Artis Gilmore was coming out of college.
Ooh. Okay. Exciting.
So, like Daniels, he was a potential game changer at the center position, and he had played college ball at Jacksonville University. So, he was a local kid
Oh,
for the
okay.
Floridians.
It's like I
Now,
don't know where that is.
Jacksonville, Florida, of course. Now, of course, it wasn't quite the days of having territorial drafts like they used to have in the early days of the ABA, but you
Mm.
did try to keep, we've talked about the Memphis Tams drafting like Larry Finch and Larry Keenan because they played at Memphis State. So they did to some degree try to keep players around their area if it was going to bring in fans, right? Like that's the
Okay.
whole thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
we want
Yeah.
to draw fans.
Yeah.
However, in one of the ABA's trademark secret drafts, somehow Kentucky purchased his rights. Now, I wasn't really clear if they like won somehow they just won it or if they bought his rights from the Floridians or whatever. But in some way, the Floridians lost out on the chance to draft Male Daniels. No, excuse me, Artis Gilmore, and Artis Gilmore went to Kentucky. Keep in mind, this guy, Artis Gilmore, won Rookie of the Year and MVP in his first season. He's one of
Okay.
the very few players to ever do that. I think Moses Malone did that in the NBA. Candace Parker did that in the WNBA. It's very rare to win Rookie of the Year and MVP in your first season, understandably.
Okay. Yep.
So it's fair to say that he would have been a huge draw for Florida and certainly would have made them a much better team. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and Ned Doyle was bleeding money to the tune of $3 million over 4 years, which is the equivalent of
Good Lord.
$23 million in 2025.
Yeah. Good Lord. You could pay Kawhi Leonard with that.
The league tried to move the team to Cincinnati, Albuquerque, San Diego, Montreal, and Omaha, but everything fell through.
Okay.
In 1972, there were rumors of a merger with the NBA. They were at a high point, and many assumed the Floridians would miss out if it went through because they were so bad at like drawing fans.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like wanted them to be gone because they didn't want to have to deal with them.
Okay.
And it
It's fair.
the merger did fall through, but the Floridians disbanded later that year, June 13th, 1972. The Floridians and the Pittsburgh Condors were both no more. Ironically, the two franchises that spent time in Minnesota were also the first two to shut down.
Yikes.
And then in the dispersal draft, Mac Calvin went to the Carolina Cougars, who we'll talk about relatively soon, while fellow All Star Warren Jabali joined the Denver Rockets. And they had just picked in the draft Sven Nader. He never played with them, but he was picked up by the Virginia Squires. And all three of those guys went on to make multiple All Star teams. And thus ends the story of the Minnesota Muskies / Miami Floridians and their, you know,
Passed.
well, I was gonna, yeah, we'll just leave it there. I was trying to
Yeah.
think of a way to talk about the ball girls without being crude, but I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Not,
Don't.
not the way they talked about them.
It's probably not best.
So next time we're going to talk about the Pacers. But do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to talk about? And we're getting close. It's almost October, so we're getting close to real basketball coming back.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait.
I can wait.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like basketball for me doesn't really start till the All Star break because there's so
Oh,
many
come
games,
on.
so long, such a long
Hey,
season.
I feel
And
like
and and Adam Silver told me I don't need to watch basketball.
I was that is exactly what I was going to talk about. Is it's insane that you were talking about the TV deal earlier, and
Yeah,
I was like, it sucks that like we've come to a point where the league would rather just sign a TV deal than care about any of its fans. Like he literally basically said, "We don't care about you.
yeah.
Just just get on Twitter, loser."
Just watch
And
this on
was,
YouTube, please.
it's just such a I I liked a lot of stuff that Adam Silver's done, but I just think that he
He's a
care.
joker.
I think he cares about money, and that's about it. Like making everyone a little bit more money is his only priority.
I mean
And
that is his only priority, isn't it?
well, it should also be like the integrity of the game and the fans having a desired product that they want to show up for, right? Like
I mean I agree, but I think the second they put like DraftKings into sports on sports stuff, I think that we've gone past integrity in sports.
that's fair.
It's all it doesn't I don't really view anything as like a real competition anymore.
Yeah,
It's just
I
like
don't
a
know.
story to watch.
I the last second heave. Did you see they implemented that this
Yeah.
year?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, you can take a shot under zero point zero 0.01 set or point whatever seconds, and it doesn't count if you miss it.
Yeah.
And I think that they think that's cool, but I'm like, no, these players that like don't take the shot to help their field goal percentage don't deserve to have that. They deserve to miss it after they chuck it, or if they do make it after they chuck it after the clock's already gone, they deserve that. I hate that. But
Does
just we're given so many outs.
does
It's
it so if you score, does it count for your field goal percentage or does it just count as a point?
yes.
Oh, that's
It,
stupid. It should go both
yeah, I
ways.
know. It's ridiculous. And now you're going to see it all the time. Players are going to start chucking like crazy. Stupid.
We got to have
They
more
should have
Josh
never
Giddey
cared
moments.
about their own, percentage over the teams winning, but that's what it's always been. It's so dumb.
Unless it's, I mean, unless they have incentives based on their like shooting percentage, which would not surprise me if some players have that.
Yeah.
But if I'm like Ben Simmons, not that he plays basketball anymore, but there's no way he has anything tied to his 3-point percentage.
That's the other thing is they need to figure out how to. I know we've this is like a common complaint of mine, but like they need to figure out how to incentivize things for the team and the player that don't necessarily like I get if a player doesn't want it to affect their field goal percentage, but like
Yeah.
incentivize it in a way that I don't know. I guess I just don't have an answer for that. So that specifically, but like it shouldn't be your incentive. Like if that's truly a thing, like their incentive is to hit a certain field goal percentage, then obviously the end of half heave shouldn't count toward that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you have to get rid of it as a stat on the
Yeah.
sheet. That's stupid.
They should just do what North Korea does.
Okay.
And like the last 30 seconds of a game, all threes are worth 8 points.
I love it. Start chucking it.
They have some wild rules in North Korea. I
Eight
mean,
points is gnarly.
and I'm only talking about basketball. I'm sure they also have wild rules for like everything else there too.
Yeah.
But I only know the basketball. I only vaguely know the basketball rules. Yeah,
Um.
I think that I've never been uh less excited by the league. I'm excited by the players, but I just like we're not gonna have TNT. We're gonna be more on ESPN now.
Yeah.
All the Steve Ballmer stuff is just like making it seem even more fake. Adam Silver seems terrible. I really can't watch Kendrick Perkins on television. Like I feel like my brain is bleeding out of my ears every time that man speaks.
I will say though, so I agree. More ESPN is not what we'd like, but they're also bringing in NBC and they're bringing in Prime, which
I
seems
don't
like a
have
good cast.
I don't want Prime.
The cast seems great.
Yeah, but I
If
just don't I don't want to support Jeff Bezos in any way. So
if it's better than also I don't remember the deal, but
oh
and I don't know if it's still going on, but for the longest time when games were on Prime on the NFL, they were also on Twitter, and you could just like
oh
fire it up for free.
yes, that's
So I,
another company I really want to support is Twitter.
it's better than paying ESPN $30 a month to just watch ESPN, which makes no sense at all. But
Yeah, I don't I yeah, I mean I don't know. I just think I'll probably not watch as much basketball this year.
yeah, I just feel like there's some exciting things happening, and also I think the Steve Ballmer thing is like I feel like there's two ways this could go down. One is like they're gonna go overboard in sanctions and stuff, and
Yeah, I can
really
see that.
start to cut down on this cap circumvention thing, which we'll see. The other, which I think is more likely, is that this has been happening for like every team
Yes.
for a very long time,
Yes.
and Adam Silver knows that, and so he can't like set a precedent here because then he's gonna have to start doing it all the time to everybody.
I think you should have to do it. Why do we have a salary cap if we're not going to stick to it?
And so what you're gonna
Uncap,
see
uncap it.
is it goes nuts. Like I really think it's gonna start to get insane.
I'm fine with that. Uncap it. Uncap the salary.
I don't remember the Reddit user's name, but there was a very funny comment I read that was like, so basically, if you don't, if it's not like there's a signed check from Steve Ballmer that says to Kawhi for cap circumvention,
XOXO.
then it's fine.
Yeah.
That's basically what's going to happen from now on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'd love to see it. Let's see
It'll be
how crazy we can
wild.
get.
I mean, does have some type of salary cap, but that's basically what baseball does.
Yeah, I also saw that Steve Ballmer is worth the lowest 25 NBA owners combined have
Yeah.
the
He's
same
worth
net
like
worth as Steve Ballmer.
he's like $150 billion.
It's funny because obviously you don't want like the rules are in place for parity reasons and they're good.
Yeah.
But
Good
at
for
the same
you.
at the same time, you've got all these owners that like refuse to pay for their stadium and make the city bend over backwards.
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer is just like, I'll pay for the best stadium in the league by myself. I don't, like that's he does a lot of things that you want in an owner.
Yeah.
And so, maybe $40 million to your star player is the price that you pay for that.
Would you let Elon Musk take over the Thunder if he was like, I'll spend all the money?
You know,
But you have to let me put like five XAI plants in here.
probably not. Um,
Not that you have a say in whether Elon Musk's take over
sure.
your team.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably top of the list that I wouldn't want, but
Hmm.
there's probably some level of billionaire that I could decide, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that.
She need Warren Buffett to take over
Oh,
the
that would be
Thunder.
dope. He's like a penny pincher though,
I was gonna
so
say he would be terrible. He would be a horrible owner. He
he
wouldn't want to
might
spend
not
any
care
money.
though. He might just be like, because I'm in. Wasn't it like Wendy's that he bought the entire company? Because he's like, I like the Frosties, and I don't care how much money we lose. I just want to like keep buying Frosties. So maybe he just is. If he's that kind of owner, he's like, we'll lose some money, but
He could just pay to have a frosty machine put in his house.
I just like championships.
That's yeah. Oh,
But when
oh
you've
well.
got that level of money, it's probably he probably the amount of money, the difference between buying Wendy's and buying a Frosty machine is probably so negligible to him that he's like, whatever. I'm
Uh,
gonna travel, so I need Frosties like everywhere.
that's fair. Yeah, good point. I can't find
Yeah.
any flaw with that logic, Warren.
I think we're gonna go down a like there's two paths that Adam Silver can take, and they're gonna drastically alter the league, whichever one we choose.
I
It's
can't
gonna
wait
be
to see what
fun.
happens.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great. It's not. It's probably not gonna be great.
it's gonna be
Either
great.
way. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Next time we'll be back with a longer-ish episode, probably because the Pacers. There's a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna have to start working on that one pretty soon. We will
Heck
see
yeah.
you next time. Goodbye.
Peace.